Hi, the Owanbe Queen has arrived. Welcome to my channel. My name is Damie, the Owanbe Queen. I'm super excited to be here, super happy to be doing this. If you don't know who I am, if you don't know what we do on this channel, we share a lot of wedding planning, bridal shower, gele, Owanbe, Ashoebi, stoning. You know that? You get the vibe. You get the vibe. So if that's something you like or something you're interested in, then definitely subscribe to the channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you lessons I've learned covering weddings. I say covering weddings because I work as a wedding vendor, photographer, videographer. I started doing this in 2018. That was my first wedding, and boy oh boy did I learn a lot from my first wedding, because it was just an experience. So I'm coming to share this with you from my years of experience and my experience doing weddings, covering weddings. Sometimes it as a photographer, sometimes it as a videographer, or sometimes I go with like my team and then we're doing this together, just the whole experience. And weddings are very, very beautiful. It's a beautiful experience for the couple, for the attendees. So my experience ranges from Christian weddings, that's the church wedding, to the registry, that's the court wedding, Igbo weddings, and I've done Yoruba weddings. And I took a break last year, but I'm back this year to do more weddings. Now, the number one thing I've learned is you don't have to go to Ikoyi registry before you are married. It's not until you get to Ikoyi, and I say this because I've turned down jobs at Ikoyi registry because I think I've done like 3 weddings there, and the stress is not from here. Like, the stress is crazy. You see a lot of couples, people are waking up like really early, like oh my god, when I say early, people are waking up really early. And when I was researching, people say, oh, Ikoyi is the most recognized. I'm not here to say whether or not, because that's not my area of specialty. But I know people that have gotten married at Agege registry. They have jackpot. Bariga has, in fact, every single local government in Nigeria has a wedding registry. Like, why can't you just go there? Remember when somebody called me, I was like, Damie, you're going to do our photography for our court wedding, one thing. I said, oh, no problem. Where are you getting married? They were like, Ikoyi. I said, please, miss me with that. I'm not doing. I've done it. I'm not doing it again. Maybe you should carry somebody else or use the in-house photographer. But for me personally, I'm not doing it. And even after, as in, I'm saying it sounds like, damn, you have a traumatic experience. Please, I don't want to get into it. After that, I decided, personally, I'm not getting married at Ikoyi registry. If you want to go there, fine. I know a lot of my friends that have got married there. I know people that will still get married there. But for me, I'm just going to look for a registry beside my house. People don't even know what they are saying in their vows, because there's a lot of people to go through. That's how they do, and this will the extortion. There is a lot. Please, I can't. Now I'm going to talk about like the proper wedding day. That's maybe like your church wedding or your traditional wedding. Number 2 thing I've learned is time goes by really fast, like really fast. Many times people would wake up in the morning, they have their itinerary, they're like 7 a.m. No, they're like 5 a.m. makeup, 6 a.m. photos. Can you come? Time goes by really fast on your wedding day. Like, it's like as if everything is running. I remember, speaking of running, I remember the wedding that everything was disorganized, even though they had a plan, but everything was disorganized. And the church, they said the church wedding without the couple in church, like the church was like, we slated this thing for 10 a.m. was starting by 10 a.m. And that day, the way I was driving, you would think, it's fast and furious. Not just me, because I was driving behind the couple as well. We ran inside. I ran inside the church because I was like, I need to get this. I remember, like, it was crazy. What I'm mentioning is time goes by really fast. And there are some things that, from photography point of view, there are things that you would not be able to do if you are having your engagement as your traditional wedding and your church wedding on the same day. There are things you will not be able to. And it's also very important you have conversation with your photographer and your videographer ahead of time. Tell them, yes, this is another thing that irks me at weddings. Tell your photographer and your videographer if you have a special thing you want to do for your significant other. Don't surprise us. We don't like surprises. It's cute and all, but tell your photographer so that they have the right lens, they have the right light, they are in the best position to capture what you are doing. Like, don't just wake up one morning and decide, I'm going to do this. Run it through your photographer, because say for instance, I'm going to a wedding, I'm covering a wedding, I already know the lens I'm going to be using. I've viewed the hall, I've viewed the venue, I know the lens, I know the light and everything. You now come and surprise me and I don't have the adequate lens to capture the emotion. It will pay me more than it will pay you. So yeah, that's that. This lesson is from a wedding that I covered in Abeokuta, and I think I have the vlog up, is when there are too many people around the couple, there's a lot of tension. The wedding I covered in Abeokuta, I handled their media, so I went with my photographer as well, and it was only 4 of us. When I say 4, the bride, the groom, the makeup artist, and myself, that slept in the same hotel. Their friends were in a different hotel. It made everything so relaxed. It made their wedding morning very chilled. Because in fact, it's not even because, in fact, I was the one that woke them up. I called them on the phone. I was like, hello, it's your wedding day. That's the energy you want to have on your wedding. Not that you are forgetting your wedding, but like you are really chilled. You are not tense. There's no tension, because when there are a lot of people around you, you have to be thinking, this person, that person, the food, this one, that one. But like when it's just, I'm not saying you should not have anybody, okay? When it's just a few people, you can reduce. No, there's no headache, there's no tension. Their friends were in a separate hotel, and then later everybody got together and we took the photos. But for them, they were chilled. It was in fact, it was like, I won't say the best wedding I've ever worked at, because it was so chilled, no tension, no pressure. It would help you a lot if you have less number of people in the same hotel, or at most in the same room as you, if you're a bride or a groom. Another lesson I've learned is people will say hurtful things to you, and this is not because they want to. This is because they are under a lot of pressure. And I've seen this at weddings. I remember one time a friend of mine, I think it was like her mom had said some really hurtful things to her, and I told her, "Konse ebi mommy, kon wo pe lojo yen, mommy ko lo nbe sọ̀rọ̀." And the English of that is, it's not mommy's fault. Just look at it as she's a different person. She's under pressure. And then there are some people that they don't know how to work under pressure, right? So if maybe the mom is tense from the, wedding can be very, especially Nigerian weddings, when it is big anyway, people will say things to you that you'll be like, are you normal? I remember there was a bride I was working with, and when she was minding her business, someone came to meet her and told her that, the chair had finished, and there was nowhere for maybe one of our uncle's guests to sit down. And her response was so sarcastic. She was like, I didn't invite them. Like, the person that invited them should provide their seat. Like, we invited this number of people. Let's say we invited 200 people. We provided seats for 250 people. If you brought people that we did not invite, cater for them. And the person was like, but then she was right. Like, people will come and meet the bride and say, your father-in-law's cousin has not eaten. What, is she supposed to stand up and go and feed them? Like, sometimes it might look, but what I'm trying to say in essence is people will say hurtful things because everybody's under pressure. The best thing you can do to yourself or for yourself is don't think about it, just let it go. Enjoy your wedding day and let it go. Now the next one, and this one is from literally every wedding, things will not go according to plan. Repeat after me. Things will not go according to plan. Yes, you spent a whole year or 2 years or 3 months or 6 months planning your wedding, and you think everything will, forget it. What I say, forget about it, because it will not go according to plan. It may be the most minute thing, like maybe the DJ coming late, or the food vendor not bringing moi, or you understand, or maybe the MC is late. I've seen wedding where the MC was late. Nigerian weddings will give you headache. It will give you headache. I've seen a wedding where the groom's suit, in fact, was lost in transit. See, crazy things happen at weddings, and I'm saying this, I'm smiling because now we can laugh about it. Maybe if I call a couple, I'm like, I remember, we'll laugh about it. But many times the guests don't see these things. We see these things, vendors, maybe like makeup artists, event planner, photographer, videographer. We see these things because we're working closely with the couple. You see many things and you just be like, Alabi, you go use them like that. You see maybe the groom is not dancing properly. Say, Akilo Shoko, it's Ojo. It's not his suit that is going. They lost his suit. He borrowed suit for the wedding. And when you think about it, you're like, why would you borrow suit for your wedding? Didn't you plan all of this? But when everything starts happening, I've seen wedding where the bride forgot her bouquet in the house. And the house to the hotel is a different thing. They have to go and buy another one. Now think about it. For a lot of brides, bouquet is something that you think about. I like tulips. I like roses. You understand? You now forget that kind of thing on your wedding day. It's enough to destabilize you. But when you know that, see, things will not go according, it may just be the most important thing, but let it go and enjoy the rest of your day. No matter how much planning you do, which is why I think people should have event planners, but that's not what we're discussing today. even event planner, sometimes things man you will, so just have at the back of your mind, or if it's in front of your mind, wherever you want to put it, everything will not go according to plan 100%. Now, speaking of things not going according to plan, this is why it's important for you to have plan B, plan C, plan D. And a great example of this was one wedding that I covered where the bride had spoken with her uncle. The bride had spoken with her uncle that was going to give her, or was going to borrow them his car, right? But that Miami motor, he will decorate it, the car will take to church. And lo and behold, a day to the wedding, motor uncle spoil, and there was no car for them to take to church. You know, you've already bought all the bride to be and the newlywed, you know, all those things now. What did they do? They booked Uber to the wedding. Let me go on Uber. I followed them in the Uber to the wedding. Did anybody die? No. Did anybody collapse? No. So always have a plan B, a plan B, a plan C, a plan everything, because when things don't go according to plan, you don't want to be left hanging. If you have a plan B, you already know, okay, tell you about it, this is what we'll do. If this doesn't work out, this is what we'll do. Okay, have a plan B for everything. Now, this one is something that a lot of couples, brides, groom forget to do, and it's important, because if you don't do it, you'll be cranky. And that is, make sure you eat. Please, I'm begging you. I've had instances where I've gone to look for food for my brides. I'm like, you've not eaten today, eat. Because if you don't eat, your baba wani okunu laughing betita is the energy of the inside that you used to transcend into the outside. It's not the exactly, it's not literally that, but if you don't have energy inside, how will you dance? If you don't have energy, how will you smile? You don't see that you are annoyed for no reason. And it happens a lot. Brides usually wake up really early, grooms wake up whenever they want to wake up. They don't have to do makeup, so and then everybody's rushing. You do try in the morning, you are rushing. You do in church, you are rushing. You do engagement. Before you know it, you realize that all the money you spent preparing for this wedding, all the Chinese you made, everything, you will not eat. Why? Make sure you eat. Please, I beg you, eat so that you can be happy. Because unless you are fasting, and I mean, why will you be fasting on your wedding day? Some people do it, but my question is why? And then the final thing, and that is delegate. You cannot do everything on your own. That's why you have bridesmaids. Delegate as much as you can. Okay, let somebody be in charge of the food, let somebody be in charge of the souvenirs, so that you're not having headaches, so that you're not stressed, so that you can smile and our work will be fine. The photos will come out beautiful. I think I wanted to share 5, and I'm sure I shared like 8 or 9 or almost 10 self. Yeah, so those are some of the lessons that I've learned from. So I cover weddings. We're available to travel. Okay, we're available to travel Lagos, Ogun. If it's abroad, we dey go. I'll put our Instagram link down below so you can check out some of our works. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Damie, the Owanbe Queen, and yeah, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.